I'm here with Paul Bondmeyer. Am I saying that right? Paul Bondmeyer, correct? And then Tim Ruiz as well. So I got both of those last names down. Usually the hardest part, but I stuck in there and got it. And you guys are both, I guess you could say, kind of grouping both of you guys together, the Kansas Historical Society, or a representative of that. And we'll get into the specifics here in a second. But just before we get started now, last semester, Professor Chen here at KU, her campaigns class kind of promoted what you guys really are involved in and work for. And could you talk about that a little bit and give people an idea of why you guys are here and kind of what your experience was with that campaigns class last semester?
Well, Lecompton was selected, and we were really honored to be selected to be a client of this 640 journalism class, strategic marketing. And they worked with the Lecompton Historical Society to develop 4 different campaign plans, and then presented them on December the 12th at the Territorial Capitol Museum in Lecompton. And I cannot say enough for Professor Chen and the students. The whole community was so impressed with what they presented, and the outreach was tremendous. So it was a wonderful experience for us.
Well, I'm glad you guys appreciated that work, and I'm sure they appreciate getting that kind of feedback from you all as well. So we'll just get right into this. Tim, you are representing Constitution Hall.
Yes, sir. And it's 1856 building this year. It'll be 158 years old. It's the oldest wood building in the state of Kansas.
Okay, so, and I understand there are a few events coming up around there, and the first one would be kind of the Free State Kansas or the Bleeding Kansas series.
Right. This we do. This is the 18th year we've been doing the Bleeding Kansas lecture series, program series, and this Sunday at 2 o'clock at Constitution Hall in Lecompton, we'll wrap up the 2014 edition of Bleeding Kansas. We've got a historian and a lecturer, Ed Schutz from Wyandotte County, Kansas. He's going to come out. He's going to talk about Wyandotte County, and specifically Ed's going to talk about our state constitution known as the Wyandotte, and that was written 2 years before Kansas becomes a state in 1861 on the eve of Civil War. And that's our state constitution. It was a long, hard slog, 7 years in Kansas territory, Bleeding Kansas. That's why it's called the Bleeding Kansas series. 7 years in Kansas. The issue of slavery is being addressed, warfare out here. And on the 4th and final attempt, we Kansans finally got it right. We wrote a constitution. And that's our state constitution, the Wyandotte. So Ed's going to talk about that, the members who are involved, the delegates writing that. And for 1859, our state constitution was very progressive. It allowed women certain voting rights, property rights, custody rights, things like that. So for 1859, it was a tremendous constitution. That's what Ed's going to talk about, because it happened in his home county of Wyandotte, Kansas City, Kansas.
Okay, so for people who are interested in that, when and where is it?
Okay, it'll be at 2 o'clock this Sunday at Constitution Hall, which is a state historic site. It's also a national landmark, and it's right on the main street of Lecompton, Elmore Street. So 2 o'clock, come out and take in a little bit of Kansas history and learn about our great state's heritage.
All right, well, I'm sure the people will be happy to hear about whether they can learn more about the great state of Kansas here. And now moving forward, there's also another event, Paul, that we'll have you talk about, and that's the Bleeding Kansas Characters. And could you explain what that is and when that is as well, or either one of you can really take that question.
Well, the Bleeding Kansas play will be performed at Constitution Hall on March the 2nd. And that involves such characters as John Brown, Jim Lane, Sarah Robinson, Corinna Rockers, Charles Robinson. And the thing that's unique about it is the individuals make speeches, but the audience is divided into north and south, and they are encouraged to cheer and boo the speakers if it's an 1850s Kansas town meeting. And of course, we do this play for 8th grade students, and the students really get into this opportunity because normally when they come to something, they're expected to be prim and proper, and they're allowed to stand and cheer and really get involved in what an 1850s Kansas town meeting would be.
Okay, so once again, that's March 2nd.
Second, at 2 o'clock, yes.
Okay, all right. So, and I see we have a few of you are also in character right now. And so what characters would you guys be playing come Sunday?
Go ahead, Paul.
Well, I'm Governor Denver today,
Okay.
and of course it's an interesting fact, you know, that Denver was founded by the people from Lecompton when it was the capital, and they located the city and they named it after my Charles Denver. James Denver.
All right, and you would be
Jim Lane. He was
Okay.
the original Jayhawker. He became U.S. Senator from Kansas, led the Jayhawkers when they rode into western Missouri and burned and pillaged there. And so Lane was a leader of the Free State movement, Free State forces, political leader, military leader. And Jim Lane, the character I'll be talking about the Lecompton Constitution, and not very happy about.
All right.
Trying to force Kansas to be a slave state.
Right. Well, so you can see we have some Kansas history with a little bit of entertainment as well. So if you're interested, I encourage you guys to go out and check that out this Sunday. And so thank you guys for both coming on. We appreciated having you, and we're going to take a quick break and we'll be back.